Find me on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave a review. Make sure that you hit that bell so you never miss an episode. We've got a big show tonight. I want to call this the Oh Baby episode of Nightly Scroll because I've got a lot of baby stories to get to tonight. No cute baby videos, unfortunately, but lots of baby stories, starting with Elon Musk's alleged baby mama. The baby mama drama has reached new heights. I feel like we are watching a reality TV show right on X. A Florida state senator has been outed for following 60 OnlyFans models on Instagram. Shame, shame, shame. And Democrats think that married women are maybe too stupid to follow voting deadlines. I debunked that, and I will get into all of that and so much more on Nightly Scroll. Before we get into everything, I need to remind everyone it is 6 p.m., 6:02 Eastern Time. Polls are closing in Wisconsin and in Florida. Polls close in Wisconsin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got the Supreme Court case there, or the race there between Brad Schimmel and Susan Crawford. Very important. This could change the balance of power between liberal and conservative justices there. Very important. If you're in Florida's 1st or 6th district, the polls close at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you are in either of those districts, you're in Florida, you're in those areas, and you haven't voted yet, I am going to give you the night off, okay? You leave, if you're watching this right now and you haven't voted in those areas, you can leave the show, you can go vote, and then you come back and you watch me on demand at your pleasure, at your leisure, okay? But voting is very important, so I have to remind you all, if you haven't done that, please do so. Our constitutional republic depends on it. It is your civic duty. So please go do that. So the baby mama drama continues with Ashley St. Clair. Ashley St. Clair is the alleged baby mama number 13 to Elon Musk. Now, to catch you up on all of this, I didn't want to cover this story. At first, I thought, this is their business. It's whoever wants to have children with whoever, whether you agree or you approve of the way in which this happened, having a baby out of wedlock, I was like, this is not my place to comment on it. People started commenting on it when this first happened, and I thought, this is kind of gross. Like, I got kind of an icky vibe from it. So I decided to not weigh in because Ashley St. Clair put out a privacy statement on X. She said, 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so regardless of the harm it will cause. I intend to allow our child to grow in a normal and safe environment. For that reason, I ask the media to honor our child's privacy and refrain from invasive reporting. This was on February 14th. That is some tweet to get on Valentine's Day, huh? And honestly, Elon Musk has a lot of women to take care of on Valentine's Day. I mean, maybe he doesn't consider all of them to be his Valentines anymore, but he's certainly got a lot of women to take care of in general in terms of child support. 12 that we know of. This is an alleged baby mama. We will get into it in a little bit. But I think she has asked for our privacy. I think we need to give Ashley St. Clair the privacy she has asked for. We should respect that. April Fools, let's get into it. We are covering it because she asked for privacy, and then here's where it all went wrong. She went on a worldwide privacy tour a la South Park, like this. When South Park was making fun of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. You may remember, we can bump out of this, but you may remember that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, they asked for their privacy. You know, everyone, you got to give us our privacy, and then they started Netflix specials and Spotify deals and whatever. It's like, hold on. I thought you wanted this to be private. This is exactly what Ashley St. Clair has done. So just one day after posting that "please respect my privacy" on X, she did a exclusive sit down with the New York Post. This is the headline: Ashley St. Clair, influencer who claims to have had Musk's 13th child, reveals life of secrecy after a whirlwind romance with Down to Earth. Huh? I mean, maybe the headline got cut off there.
Reveals life of secrecy?
Reveals life of secrecy. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You don't really reveal your life of secrecy, especially a day after you asked for privacy. She did an expose. Okay, here we missed a word. There's Ashley St. Clair, influencer who claims to have had Musk's 13th child, reveals life of secrecy after whirlwind romance with down-to-earth billionaire. There we go. Now, if you are asking for privacy, one thing that you usually don't do is call up maybe some friends in the media and have them come up to your penthouse apartment and take photos of you and do a whole sit-down interview with you about how private your life is and how private you want your child's life to be. And I respect that. I think that children should be in private. I don't think that journalists should cover on children. I think that that's in poor taste. So I'm not going to cover anything about the child. However, the worldwide anti-privacy tour needs criticism. It's just insane, and it's gotten worse. But I do want to point out, she said the media is going to cover this. The media is going to cover this. This is why I'm asking for privacy. No one cover this. No one, dox my child, which I agree with. But what was she even talking about? Who covered this story other than the exclusive that she gave to the New York Post? I never saw anything else come out. She just warned everyone, hey, the media, they feel the need to comment on this. However, she literally posed for photos. Like, she knew this was orchestrated by her. So now it gets worse because it seems like she has orchestrated yet another media appearance, if you will. Yesterday, she was selling her Tesla that was gifted to her by Elon Musk. Apparently, it was worth $100,000. I don't know what it's worth now. Maybe it's worth more if it's literally a gift from Elon Musk himself. I don't know. But the car apparently worth $100,000, and she was caught on camera by a Daily Mail reporter. That seems fishy to me, unless, the Daily Mail was staked outside of Ashley St. Clair's apartment. I texted one of my friends who's a journalist, and I said, do you think that the Daily Mail would be outside of her apartment just waiting for her to come out and waiting for her to maybe sell her car from Elon Musk? And she said probably not likely. However, there's a lot of news going on about Elon Musk. There's a lot of, Tesla terrorist attacks and, with Doge and everything. I mean, Elon Musk is certainly a target. Maybe she's become a target. I don't know. But I think she maybe wants people to care more about her than they do, which is why she maybe can't confirm, potentially orchestrated this setup.
I'm selling it because I need to make up for the 60% cut that Elon made to our son's child support.
Why do you think that he did that?
That's a great question for him.
You feel like he was sort of like vindictive against you in some way?
Yeah, that's his modus operandi when women speak out.
When was the last time that you spoke to him or tried to speak to him?
February 13th.
But he's just not responding to you at all. How would you characterize the way that he's going about you and
So you can check the stocks. I'm not the only one who's cleaning up after his messes.
And there's the car, folks. The car being loaded on to the Carvana truck. It's being taken away. Sayonara. I guess she really needed that $100,000, or did she? In that video, she claims that Elon Musk has slashed her child support payments by 60%. But here's what Elon Musk had to say. He responded to Laura Loomer's tweet. He said, I don't know if the child is mine or not, which is shocking. But I'm not against finding out. No court order is needed. Despite not knowing for sure, I have given Ashley $2.5 million and am sending her $500,000 per year. So was this before or after he slashed it 60%? Because he said, can we put up Elon Musk's tweet again there? I am sending her $500,000 a year. So, and this was as of yesterday. So if Elon Musk says that he's continuing to send her $500,000 a year, I mean, he was, paying her 60% more than that before he slashed it potentially? Again, this is a little like he said, she said, but here's what Ashley St. Clair replied. This is a lot of like high school drama that I really think should be happening maybe via private text messages, but they're public figures, so here we are. Ashley St. Clair replied, "It's ironic that your last effort in court was to try to gag me while you use a social media channel you literally own to distribute derogatory messages about me and our child to the entire world. It's all about control with you, and everyone can see it. America needs you to grow up, you petulant man-child." I think they're both acting like children, but certainly Ashley St. Clair in this situation, I haven't seen Elon Musk say anything bad about this child online. He hasn't denied that it's his, although admitting that they haven't taken a paternity test, so he's just shelling out $2.5 million plus $500,000 a year willy-nilly. That's crazy. This is like billionaire. This is billionaire stuff. Now, Ashley St. Clair went on, "Elon, we asked you to confirm paternity through a test before our child, who you named, was even born. You refused. And you weren't sending me money. You were sending support for your child that you thought was necessary until you withdrew most of it to maintain control and punish me for disobedience. But you're really only punishing your son." I don't know what she means by disobedience. Maybe going public with the story. I mean, it seems like she was the one that orchestrated at least the first media appearance, or at least she allowed it. She allowed the New York Post to come into her apartment, and she sat down and took photos. And then certainly she didn't have to answer the Daily Mail reporter's questions, but she did. She could have just ignored him. She could have just, I don't know, worn a hood and no one would have known that it's her. I mean, I could have tripped over Ashley St. Clair. I follow her on X. She's got 1 million followers, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree you could trip over her. You wouldn't even know that it was her. Like, I wouldn't even consider her really a public figure. I mean, I guess she's a social media influencer. I wouldn't really say that she's a public figure. But her selling this car reminds me of Sheryl Crow selling her Tesla. Like, this is giving liberal energy to me. We can play this video. Sheryl Crow. Time to say goodbye. Bye, Tesla. It was fun virtue signaling while it lasted. Yeah, if you're listening, that was Sheryl Crow posting a video on her Instagram saying that, well, she can no longer support Tesla because she bought the Tesla when it was a climate change virtue signal, but now, of course, she has to virtue signal by selling it because she can't support Elon Musk and by extension Trump and whatever else. This is a liberal thing to do. And, Ashley St. Clair is giving liberal energy by selling this Tesla. And again, selling a $100,000 Tesla when you're getting $500,000 a year, I mean, even if he slashed $500,000 by 60%, you could keep the Tesla, babe. You'd be okay. But conservative influencers have been critical of Ashley, some disapproving of having two baby daddies, which I can agree with, 2 children out of wedlock. This is obviously not representative of conservative culture. Although there is a difference between being conservative and then voting politically conservative. Maybe you're not religious. Those people exist. They vote in elections. And I think there are a lot of people in the conservative movement who claim to be perfect or close to it, and they cast stones, saying people like Ashley St. Clair have no place in conservative media. Now, a friend, when this whole shitstorm started in February on Valentine's Day, a former friend of Ashley's, Isabella Moody, she's another conservative influencer, she totally outed her friend, Ashley St. Clair, on X. She's posting photos of them like, we used to be friends, now here's the tea. And she basically exposed screenshots of their private conversations in which Ashley St. Clair was saying, I want to have rocket babies with Elon Musk. So, people are now, people have turned on Ashley St. Clair very quickly, even some calling for her to be canceled. Evan tweeted this, another conservative influencer, Evan Kilgore on X, tweeted, can we all agree to never let Ashley St. Clair back in the MAGA movement yet? She's a grifting whore and is now making Elon Musk and all of us look bad because of the decisions she made. I would argue she's not making anyone look bad but herself. And maybe Elon Musk for having children with so many people willy-nilly. I don't believe in cancel culture. I do, however, criticize people within reason when they deserve it. Now, Ashley St. Clair, she amassed, I think, 1.1 million followers on X. Because of this influence, she had a job writing jokes with the Babylon Bee. Whether, what came first, the chicken or the egg, I don't know. But she was, rising to internet fame, if you will. She got a book deal with Brave Books. She wrote a children's book. You can say that a lot of this had to do with her influence on X. And, she had even posted, in these videos, in these screenshots exposed by Isabella Moody, that, it was easy to get Elon Musk to retweet her. If Elon Musk, the owner of X, is retweeting all of your stuff, it's easy to rise to the top. So it has people questioning, did Ashley St. Clair sleep her way to the top of X, literally, by sleeping with Elon Musk? And this is the kind of behavior that shouldn't be rewarded, and yet it kind of still is in the conservative movement. People in the conservative movement are disavowing her and this behavior, which I agree with 100%. But, Elon Musk is a massive figure in conservative media. I'm not saying everyone has to be perfect, but, Ashley St. Clair certainly thought that this would work out way better for her. She saw an opportunity. She took it. Maybe she doesn't have morals. Maybe she doesn't have values. Maybe she let it fly because, Elon Musk would sleep with her, so whatever. How does something like this happen, though? Well, it certainly wasn't a mistake. Elon Musk is very scared about population decline. He was just talking about it this past weekend. Watch.
The population decline there is much worse. Japan is an absolute population decline, so they're losing about, I think, roughly 1 million people a year for population, and that's going to accelerate. Korea has only a third replacement rate, which means that in 3 generations, the country will be 3 or 4% of its current size. Like basically, all that'll be left is a small portion of the capital city. And I keep waiting for the birth rate to turn around, but it doesn't.
So he's got to do his part, y'all.
Population collapse accelerates. That's why I think it's a very serious matter. If you believe in humanity at all, you should care about this a lot. And then, that's sort of, but that's a sort of long-term thing. And
all right, so if you care about humanity, you'll impregnate people because of the population decline, of course. And yes, I understand that population decline is a problem. So how does this happen? Well, we have Elon Musk, he's seen the population decline and he's not happy about it. And then here's Ashley St. Clair, who does, however, understand how birth control works. Watch.
They're not teaching women, you can cycle track and it can be just as effective as birth control if you're using birth control for the sake of birth control.
Right.
Okay, so she knows how it works. She knows that you can either take birth control or cycle track. I guess she was doing neither one because, again, this was planned. Again, I didn't think that I was going to cover this story, but I think it deserves criticism when you ask for privacy and then, you go out and you handle yourself in the way that you do. You deserve criticism. So here it is, served up. But I do have a quick ad for you, so we're going to take a break, and then I've got some good news on the baby front to continue this Oh Baby episode of Nightly Scroll. All right, if you love coffee as much as I do, and I do love my coffee any kind of way, by the way, I like cold brew, I like hot coffee, you name it, it just depends on my mood. So I always go to Blackout Coffee. They're a small batch, family-owned roastery right here in Florida, crafting bold, premium coffee that actually delivers on flavor. It's not burnt, no nonsense. So if you like it strong, you like it black, you like it smooth with a little cream, they have got you covered. And guess what? They ship fresh to all 50 states. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can get your hands on it. And because you watch Nightly Scroll, you can get 20% off your first order. Just use code Hayley, that's HAYLEY, at checkout, or hit up blackoutcoffee.com/Hayley to grab your bag. I used to be a 1 cup of coffee a day person. I have become 2 because we have all this blackout coffee here in the studio. I'm obsessed with, they have little cans. They're right in the fridge, ready to drink. So good. They've got you covered. Doesn't matter what you need, they've got you covered. So stop drinking weak coffee. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee today. blackoutcoffee.com/Hayley and use code Hayley for 20% off your first order. All right, we're back to the Oh Baby episode, and we've got some good news on the baby front over in Idaho. The Idaho governor signed into law, we have this headline here, that it's required now that prenatal development is being taught in public schools, which I think is really important. I went to public school until high school. Then I went to Catholic school. When I was in public school, actually, and in Catholic school too, we had, health class where we talked about, puberty and all this stuff. But when I was in public school, we never learned about the development stages of life. And not that I can remember in sex ed or anything like that. And I think this is such an important thing to teach children, especially before they become sexually active. Like, we have a pro-choice crisis in this country because so many women think that babies are just a clump of cells. I'm a clump of cells right now. Me speaking to you right now, everyone in the live chat, you're all clumps of cells. Clumps of cells, this camera's a clump of cells. Like, hello? But a fetus has human cells. We can't keep letting people just dehumanize what life is, and life does begin at conception. And because of this law, this new law in Idaho, they're going to allow videos like this from live action to be played in schools. Watch.
This is Olivia. Though she has yet to greet the outside world, she has already completed an amazing journey. This is the moment that life begins. A new human being has come into existence. At fertilization, her gender, ethnicity, hair color, eye color, and countless traits are already determined. She begins to implant.
The video is a lot longer than that, but it's important because it details at what stage do all of these babies start having these traits, these human traits. Of course, they're human from the very first second that they're conceived. And, in that video, they're saying that, yes, their hair color, eye color, all of this, their DNA is separate from the mother right away at conception. This is a human being, and if left to its natural devices, it's going to be like a baby. It's not just going to be a clump of cells or a fetus, or it's going